Welcome back to Nation Building. I'm your host, Winston Pinnock, and I'm here today with the former senator and former chairman of the Free National Movement, Mr. Darren Cash. Mr. Cash, when you talked about or began to share about National Youth Service, I want to make sure our viewers are clear. Said a number of substantive points, but I want you to make clear. In 1990, somewhere between 90 and 92, Sir Lyndon Pinlin, our former Prime Minister and the father of our nation, brought out a form of an idea, raised an idea in Parliament, and went down the path of proceeding to develop National Youth Service. And I believe, certainly if they had won the 92 election, it would have been brought about. Now, the Free National Movement, your party, at the time, was opposed to that, and it became a major issue in the 92 election campaign. It was said then that it was Pinlin's army. What was so wrong with National Service now? Because now we're hearing people saying, if it was done, our society would have been better. So bring some clarity to what you're sharing about your support for it, and were you supportive of what Sir Lyndon offered then?
I smiled because, you know, when there's a little bit of this today, but when it gets to the point where you've been in office for almost 25 years and you've got a laundry list of issues working against you, in part because there's a perception that you've outlived your usefulness, quote unquote, it is almost as if nothing that you say, however valuable, however prudent, will resonate with people. And for me, the value of whatever element Mr. Pinling wanted to bring National Youth Service may have gotten lost in the shuffle of it really was time for a change in government. Fast forward to today. But even if I take a moment on Sir Lyndon's vision, for me, it is not the same for the Bahamas to talk about a National Youth Service that has a paramilitary focus in the same way a United States or in Israel, for example, countries where they're constantly at fear of an invading force. Now, if you put this in the Bahamian context, what's our great opportunity? Not necessarily that we need to prepare people for a potential invasion. We need to engage able-bodied, high-energy people for whom a job opportunity is not available immediately, but engage them in a way that helps to continue their process of learning or gives us an opportunity to supplement the academic skill that they didn't get in high school when they left 6 months or 12 months ago, and to prepare them for opportunities that may be available. And so rather than hanging out and not being productive, National Service falls closer to the model that Prime Minister Ingram at the time was seeking to do just before the 2012 election, I think it was, when the Volunteer Bahamas program was brought to the fore, where the idea was for people to register to do community service in one way, shape, or form, not in the Defense Force or anything of that nature, but in their communities. And so it is that kind of service that one builds skills, that helps you to provide true urban renewal opportunities and make a difference for people who need their roofs and other things fixed or tutoring, whatever it is.
And I've heard many of our citizens make the point of view that if without a mandatory requirement, National Service simply wouldn't work, wouldn't be effective, that there has to be, yes, I hear you on the it seems unnecessary for there to be any military training aspect of it, but without having a form of mandatory requirement for young people, I'm not sure, and certainly this is a sentiment I've gotten also, I share that view, that I'm not sure that you will have captured the people, the target audience,
Right.
if you will, the people that you want to.
Well, I'm not arguing against the mandatory component at all.
Okay.
In fact, I'm just saying that if it's mandatory, it just doesn't have to be paramilitary.
Right.
Because to the extent that able-bodied persons can't find work and ought to be engaged, whatever we invest in that level of engagement pays value to the country down the road. To the extent that you do have able-bodied people who are working, making a contribution, to the extent that they are required to make some contribution in the lives of those who don't have opportunities, again, just says to us, we're all a part of one community that has needs, and we have an opportunity to use our talents to make a positive contribution, and your country needs you to do that. And so I think we are at a stage where we need to be creative, we need to try new models to make things happen, and if it upsets the apple cart to some degree, then so be it, because nation building isn't only about doing that which is convenient.
No.